First thing yesterday morning, we were able to execute an emergency order from our office, enabling assets to be deployed. Having the National Guard and the Black Hawk helicopters enabled us to evacuate the kids from the kids' camp. That was unbelievable. So really a lot of people pitched in to make things happen, to make sure we didn't have a really horrible situation turned out a little bit better.
I mean, hard to imagine what some of those campers were feeling. And this comes just 1 year, just a little over 1 year after the catastrophic flash flooding disaster from Kerrville, Texas, also involving campers. But thankfully, none of those children have been reported as any kind of casualty or even injured. So overall, I would say that the state of Missouri has done a fantastic job trying to recover from this after it received more than a foot of rain in less than 12 hours. In total, over 350 rescues were confirmed, 200 of those, including children. We want to go ahead and bring in Sergeant Eddie Young. He's a Missouri State Highway Patrol Public Information Officer. Sergeant, we've been talking about the missing woman, and I heard from you earlier that there might be an update in that case. Can you share?
Yeah, up in Crawford County, we had a lot of houses affected, residences, and Faith Gregory was a female out of Crawford County, and we have been rescuers and searchers and family members have been looking for her since Friday morning time, early in the Friday morning. And then I got word that just shortly around 11:30, they located her deceased about a mile on a 1.8 miles downstream. So it was definitely not the outcome that we were hoping for. But it just is a tragic reminder of how strong Mother Nature can be and how forceful it can be.
Absolutely. I mean, I think flash flooding is such an underrated weather killer. People don't think about it. You think about jumping in the pool, getting in the ocean. You love water, but water can be very dangerous, especially along some of these river sheds. Now, it's my understanding, at least from hearing from Jane, who's our reporter on the ground, that it's more of a one road in and out to some of these hardest hit areas. What's the latest on possibly some of the infrastructure? I know the waters have receded, but do we still have some lingering bridges or roadways that need maintenance?
Yeah, a lot of those infrastructures have been undermined from the swift water. It's amazing when you go to these scenes, and I've seen it time and time again, how strong Mother Nature can be with water. It's definitely one of the most forceful things you could come across in nature, especially when it comes to roadways and infrastructure. It just washes large areas of it away, regardless whether it's asphalt or concrete. So it's going to take some time. I'm sure some loose gravel and the county commissioners and the state are going to help assist with getting those rebuilt, at least to where they can travel on them. But it's going to take some time to get them back to the conditions they were. And like you said, you take out one roadway and that might be an hour detour to get to where you were going to go, which brings a lot of concerns when it comes to ambulances and other emergency services that may need to get around.
Well, I mean, we think about the emergency services as well. I saw one report of a police station actually having flooding near Cape Girardeau in the building. And then also the students at that campsite were evacuated via Black Hawk helicopter. Can you speak a little bit to the search and rescue efforts that have been ongoing and just the manpower it takes to perform over 350 rescues?
Yeah, we were fortunate. I mean, obviously these weather conditions are hard to, like I said, prepare for in advance. So when they happen, it's a lot of times it takes a little while to get the manpower to the location to start doing the necessary help. And we were blessed with the governor declaring an emergency so quick, and then just kind of a certain circumstances to where training was going on and those assets as far as the Black Hawks were available. And they came together and got those kids to safety because they were going to be stuck there and without really a way to get out. And since the roadways were compromised, and I know parents, especially like I said, fresh after the Texas disasters, it was peace of mind to have those kids back on home soil.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so scary when you think about your best summer memories as a child, especially at camp. They're by the rivers, and so you really have to think about what can we do now to better protect these young people. And a lot of the camp counselors are usually younger college students as well. I know that you've been a part of the state police and for many years, 19 years and counting. But you specifically are a big proponent for safety devices while you're trying to operate motor vehicles. What are some things that Missourians can have on hand, things that they can keep on them in case they encounter any kind of flooding? Because you guys still have a flood watch in effect for the better part of this evening.
Right. The main thing is just the information, being empowered with information. So, the biggest threat that this would have caused for people that didn't have multiple devices to be able to give them alert of those flood warnings, then also heeding those warnings. A lot of times we base our experiences off the prior years, but when an event like this shows up, you always got to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And this is one of those scenarios when these mountainous areas get 12 inches of rain dropped within several hours. They all go into those low valleys, and that high ground was once a safe area is maybe not the safe area. So, having your information warning device where you can receive that warning, then also having everything ready to go, have that alternate location you can get to planned out, and just realizing what infrastructures are going to limit your ability to get out. A lot of people started to leave and found out, the roads were compromised and their vehicles incapable. So are you going to have to heed those warnings early and then leave earlier in the day and maybe not stay there that night?
Yeah, I mean, information and preparation is key for all types of weather disasters. But I think especially if you're going camping, you're in a rural area where maybe service is a little spotty, it's good to have those best practices at hand because those are the areas that are most vulnerable. My last question for you, Sergeant, is at this point, where does the recovery stand? Are you still in search and rescue? Do we have any more people that have yet to be accounted for? How long do you think that you guys will have at least Missouri Task Force 1, possibly some of the other agencies on site?
Yeah, there's a lot of resources in that area still, and rescue efforts as those calls come in have slowed down quite a bit. So the need for help immediately being called out has slowed down due to the water receding and the amazing work that all those first responders have done on getting those initial people out. But now we're in kind of a search, going through, making sure, doing systematic searches of areas where maybe someone wasn't able to call out. We're talking about areas where on a good day, cell phones don't work. So it's just been humbling to watch. I think a lot of people survived this incident because not only did some of those devices go off, but it's just neighbors looking at their neighbors and knocking on camper doors and getting people out of homes. And then those citizens coming out and finding themselves in water already. So we are fortunate the way things have turned out for us so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, truly a miracle that all of those kids are safe. Unfortunately, the one fatality, but as we've learned from Kerrville, it could have been a whole lot worse. So kudos to your department and really the entire state of Missouri and your response. Sergeant Eddie Young, Missouri State Highway Patrol Public Information Officer, thanks so much.
Thank you.